Okay, this is Anna. I'd like to start showing you some of the works I have done in the past, which are now displayed in my house. So this is the work I've done back at the time when I was doing my undergrad, my first year undergrad, sort of 13 years ago. And it just came back into my house 2 months back. I stitched it for my mother-in-law, then future mother-in-law. She has done all the framing. That is not my framing. I just done the kit and sent it over to her, and she done all the framing. And because they're still in the house in Germany, I got asked whether or not I want it back because they haven't decided what to do with it, and we decided to take it in, and this is in my corridor. So that downstairs, just as you come in, and that's how large it looks. It is pretty large in comparison to my hand. This is an old Leonardi kit from Romantic Collection. It's stitched on 30 count Zweigart using DMC threads. And this is a museum. No, this is not a museum. This is normal glass. You can see it's still reflecting. Just a normal glass, but it lasted really, really well, and the colors are still well. See if I can show you up close. This is the lady. It's a full cross everywhere for coverage. Very simple stitched, and you can see 13 years ago the way I was stitching. You have a thread. Nowadays there's no way on earth I would have done this. But I don't know if it was done by my framers who frame for museums, they're professional textile framers. I have no idea what horror might await underneath it, so I'm too scared to change it. Yeah, so this is the first kit which welcomes you. Okay, so just as you turn in the same corridor, above we have the IKEA thingy for the shoes. Just above it, this is my favorite piece ever. It took a very long time to stitch. I have started it in 2012, but I completed it in 2014. Absolutely love this. This is a sampler which came by Atelier Purdue. In 4 parts, was a mystery. But by the time I signed up for the mystery, I've seen half of it already stitched and I fell in love. 2012 is the year when me and my husband got engaged and got married. We bought a house, bought a deposit. Because I was knitting a lot back then, I was given money for the yarn, and I've knitted, sorry my hands are shaking, I've knitted a blanket. My family came over, so I can say those people, those children, that's my family. I was working, finishing my PhD, I got graduated in 2012, and I was working on flies, so even though I know this is a bee, to me it's fly. The only thing I would have done differently is I should have stitched my initials. Instead I've stitched NJ because those initials of the author of the sampler. It's stitched just with DMC. Again, if I was doing it now, I would have used Gust. Have to stay on a stool. Really zoom in. Sorry, it's a bit shaky. I'm trying to take a video with my phone. It's count 40. It's really small. And that's how it looks up close. And there's no mount. It's just left with linen. I love that look. It's in a wooden frame, and above it, an identical frame. It's a really well-known design, really loved by stitchers out there. Home of a needleworker. That is done on 20 count linen, and you can see the slight variegation in the roof, in the house, and mostly on the leaves. This is stitched using the charted variegated threads. I love this. They both are displayed in my corridor together, so they have identical frames. The home of the needleworker stays in the house throughout the seasons. My favorite sampler spends the majority of the time in here, but not the entire year, because this is the prime position where I have the seasonal change of the items. And for Christmas I have a Christmas project to show, and for Halloween I have the Halloween one, which I'm going to show you, not on the wall because it's now in the cupboard, but on the sofa. So now we're gonna go to the pieces which I now have in my cupboard, but they are coming on display on the certain periods of time. And unfortunately, I can now see that the camera is really affecting the color. I'm not happy about this. So this is the Christmas, this is the Halloween piece. It's quite big. It's 28 count linen. I've stitched it using all the recommended material. This came from the French magazine, hence it's in French. So citronelle means pumpkin. And as you can see, if I zoom in closer, there's quite a lot of partially stitched white color, and blends in, unfortunately, because stupidly I went for the recommended fabric, and in the magazine they clearly had photoshopped. I should have gone for much darker linen to have the contrast better. It has a museum quality glass, so there is no UV. I think it's 99 protective of UV. It has two frames, so it has dark gray, which is the same as his. This is not showing properly. This is a really bright orange color, exactly same is one between here and here, so closer to orange. Probably, yeah, looks like this. I have no idea why it's coming up sort of reddish rather than orange. It's a big piece, and it goes instead of my sampler in a corridor for just a week, just when you have Halloween. And behind it is another piece, which is also seasonal. And unfortunately, it has normal glass, but it was just too expensive for me back then. I started this in 2004, and I finished it in 2014. So it took me 2 years. Yeah, it has taken me 10 years to stitch this, because back then I didn't have a frame. I was stitching in hand, and it was just a struggle. So it has wooden frame, exactly same collection is the one where I have my sampler, which I showed you before, but this is more blue, has a blue mount, single mount. And I'm going to show you, this is a dimension kit. This is the original one, American, but the Scenes have reissued it. I zoom in again. It's called Sledge Ride. And this comes out halfway through December and stays for about 2 weeks. Love this piece. It looks really seasonal. It looks lovely, but it's been a pain to stitch. I've started in my favorite left corner, I've worked upwards, I've done this first house, and then I got stuck on this never-ending sky done in half crosses, and it was just, I don't know why. I love this. I love looking at it. I love displaying this. But it took me 10 years to stitch. I also have another piece I've just recently framed. And I've done this piece last year. Finished it. It was my Christmas stitch. It's also Dimensions. This is Dimensions Mini or Petite Gold. And this is called the Shopper. And it's done in a red frame. It's metal, the single white matte mount. This is just normal UV glass, so that you can see there's a reflection. And it only comes out again for about 2 weeks. And I'm thinking I can put it where the home of the needle worker is, so it's gonna go above this piece, just for 2 weeks at a time. Yep, so this is what stays on my ground floor in the entrance. I'm just gonna zoom out and show you. I'm stitching downstairs. This is my Millennium stand. That's how it looks. And I'm working on my fuchsias. And you can see I've done a little bit of the progress since I last talked to you. And I have my key because I'm stitching sideways. I had to rotate my key. Yeah, so that's my working space. And just to give you appreciation of the size of those pieces, they are quite big. So I'm now back in my bedroom. It's the first floor, and that's the piece I have between my two windows. This is the ancient Lanarti kit I stitched back in 2016. And it comes on already made even width, so you can see the outline of the buildings has been printed and I stitched using DMC. It has metallic threads. If I zoom in, it's a really large count. It's really big. It's done in full cross and it's done in half cross. And I framed it in a what's called Venetian frame because it's Venice. It's called Venetian frame because it started in Venice in the Doge's palace to decorate it. I know the wall is white and the piece is actually quite small compared to my hand. And if I just zoom out, I'm standing on a stool so I can show you. But if I move away, that's how disproportionately small it looks on the wall. Oh, my second cat is here. And it's so small because it's not where I want to have this piece. What I would like to have instead of it on this wall is my Mirabilia, the Sleeping Princess. And this piece is gonna go on the wall opposite, and hence a really dark frame because my wall it's gonna go onto is really dark. So at the moment it has two pictures on it. Walk out a bit and don't really want to see my bed, but that's the wall. Because it's so dark, it's struggling to focus. But I have all of this space and all the space close to the bed. And what I would like to do is to actually have this wall with more pictures. So that Venice is gonna go on that wall, probably above, so around here. And it's gonna leave me plenty of space for another project, which I'm gonna show you, which currently lives in my library / living room, but it has an outrageous frame full of gold because it's aimed to go on this wall. And if you just bear with me, if you just close this curtain, you can see the artwork I have. So I told you I love foxes. I have a fox and I have a night sky, and they're designed to be blended into the wall. Yeah, so it has plenty. Another finished project, so I'm only showing you FFOs. The only other finished project I've done sort of outside the cross stitched is project, it's a pillow. It was originally a handkerchief which I bought in the charity shop back when I was 11. So I stitched this when I was 11 as a handkerchief, and then I just stitched it up as a pillow years later. So that's a small pillow I have. I even managed to insert the zip. I'm still in, I mean, it's not perfect, it's crap, but for me that's as good as it's gonna get. So I'm gonna zoom in so you can see it's not even. It's done in DMC floss. There's no pattern. I just got a handkerchief with already printed flowers and I just worked with it and I stitch on top of them. So yeah. And another piece I have, which I fully finished, is the piece I stitched again when I was 11 or 12. That was Maria Rosenberg kit. It's the first kit I've ever bought in my life. I bought it in Finland. The first time I went abroad. So I was not even 11. I was 10. I was 10, about to turn 11. And I went on my very first trip. It was Finland, the first country I went outside Russia. And this came as a kit. And the kit said that you should stitch the same design twice and finish it as a case to hold your glasses. So they are the spectacles case. Unfortunately, I did not need them back then. And I thought like, oh my god, I have all of this thread. What the heck do I do? So I'm gonna zoom in really close so you can see how I've done it. This is not the regular cross. This is what we call Hungarian cross. So you do regular cross and then you do a cross, you go horizontal and then vertical over it. Maybe if I go here and resume, yeah, you can see. So each cross is effectively stitched twice. And you can see it went vertical and then horizontal because you can see the direction. It's stitched on 32 count. It's 32 count even width, and I've stitched 2 over 2 but double cross. So it's incredibly 3D. Like if you look on the side, you can see it's bumpy, and I finished it years ago. It's quite old. I finished it absolute ages ago. It's not like in the focus. And I keep it as a holder for my cotton to remove the makeup. So I've only stitched the design once. It's a little bloated, but I've done a crazy outrageous amount of work for basically doubling it. It's like stitching with full cross with 4 threads. But it lives in my bedroom. It traveled with me everywhere. I lived in America for a year, so it lived with me in the States. It was with me in Russia, and it's been living with me in England, all over England. In Cambridge, then in London, and Staines, then back in Cambridge. Yeah. The colors just don't fade. It's exactly the same colors as I stitched 20 years back. Over 20 years back now. And this is my kitsch piece. I know it looks ridiculous against the white background. It's supposed to go on the dark wall in my bedroom. And this is a kit based on a painting done by Modigliani, the Italian painter. And the kit was done by the Erto, the Russian brand. You can buy it in Sunso. And it's called Lady in a Hat. And this is a museum quality glass. And I've done it 2013. I stitched it in 2013. I've stitched it exactly as charted. The only thing I've changed is obviously the fabric. I don't stitch neither if I can help, or if there is a purpose behind this. This is stitched in 20 count even width from Zweigart. It has the blue mount, and it has, this is a single frame. And I want to show you from the side, this is how thick it is. I mean, yes, I grew up in St. Petersburg. I've spent my childhood going to Hermitage. I used to go to Hermitage twice a week because I did an art program in my school. So I quite miss gold frames. The frame, in this case, the frame cost more than the museum quality glass. But usually the museum quality glass is ridiculously expensive. This frame has to be delivered from Italy by special order that obviously didn't have a sample. And the framers I use in Cambridge, they frame for Fitzwilliam Museum and for St. John and Trinity colleges. So they frame the original Holbein. And it uses all of the non-acidic materials, so it will preserve the stitching. And this is actually covered with real gold. So the frame is really expensive. I wanted the frame to be outlandish, kitsch, grabby, ridiculously tacky in a way. I wanted it to scream, because the painting, the cross stitch is tiny. It's absolutely minuscule. Look at it. It's really, really, really small. So if I move away, I have my coffee table, you can see how small that painting is. But that frame is incredibly deep. It's a 3D effect. It's the only piece I have in my library. It is eventually going to go on the wall in the bedroom. And if it goes on a dark background, it will look completely differently. I saw it on a black wall. We have dark wall in the bedroom. It's not black, but it's dark. And I think this piece will look amazing. I love the finished project. Every time people come in and see it, they go like, whoa, hold on a minute, what happened here? But it talks to me. And this frame looks way better in real life than it looks on the camera. The camera just flattens it, and it doesn't show that it's more orange. It's really orange, covered in gold, and it just comes out looking boring. That's my stitching. This is the piece I have mentioned in my introductory video. Piece I've stitched just as I started dating my husband-to-be, and it lives on a staircase. Like I have some family pictures. Yeah, silver chair before they disappeared. I'm gonna take it off the wall so you can actually see it up close. Pardon me. It's a regular glass because it lives in relatively shaded area. It's stitched on either, but this is below count 18. I think it's hardanger. I think it's count 22. It's stitched 2/2 using one of the Russian magazines which came out in the 90s. And it's a full cross. It's taken me about a month to stitch. I was doing my A levels, my AS levels, so level 6 at the time. And yeah, that piece, to me, it's just a piece of memory. I used to stitch it. We were both in a public school, in a boarding school, in a private school, they call it in England, public school. So yeah, I stitched part of it in my boyfriend's, my husband's room. I was not supposed to go because it was in a boy's house, on a boy's floor. But during the day, no one minded. I think we came out as really responsible individuals, so the house warden, she really didn't care. She knew really well, I'm not going to be doing drugs, I'm not going to be drinking, there's no way I'm going to get pregnant. I wanted back then already to do a PhD. I was very determined what I wanted to do. I wanted to do science. And because she trusted us and I never missed a lesson unless I was really ill, she allowed us to do what we wanted. Yep, public schools are great. It doesn't work with everyone, but to me, that was something I wanted to do since I was 11. I wanted to go away and live by myself. Well, probably even before 11. I was known in my nursery as the person who wanted to live abroad. So yeah, that's the first piece, which I reframed. It was differently framed. It was horribly framed. They cut the fabric, and then I found my frame in Cambridge, and they've done a miracle. I have no idea how they managed to stretch it this way, because literally it's that much fabric. Originally was lost a lot, but they've been, the stupid one, it's been cut that short and glued on a double tape. And when the glass broke, when we were first moving back to Cambridge, and I realized it's been cracked, and I took it off, I was so horrified. I was beyond tears. I thought this piece was ruined. But I took it to my framer who did conservation work, and they managed to stretch it. They used silk, white Japanese silk, to spread it. So yeah, if I can help, I'm never going to take it off from this frame. Now on the second floor, I have no pictures displayed on the second floor, but we're back to the last two pieces. You have seen some of them. That's my box of delight. But I'm thinking that with this camera on the phone, I can show you better. Yep, it's definitely coming out quite better. All the variegated yarn. This is one thread. Beautiful jewelry design. You can see all the petite treasure braid. That's 666 DMC. I love this thread. Jewelry, petite treasure braid. This is Ghost. I think this is Peacock. This is one color Amanda, the Milky Bar kid loves. It's her favorite jewelry design color. Black. No, this is not black. This is Ghost variegated black, left over from my favorite sampler. On the needlework, home of the needleworker. I love this piece. I got so confused when stitching it. I had to frog it. But it gives you 3D ladder effect. And I love this. I changed the pattern. Should be done in one color, but I have added petite treasure braid, so it gives it much more definition and depth. This is the one with the super bulky French knots. Hold on. Yep, you can see from the sides this is 2 threads, and then 2 threads I have done, I think 6 rotations around the needle, so they are really bulky. I love this one. I love pinks and purples. And this one, this is totally me. Black and a bit of copper on the white. This is my husband's favorite square, very geometrical. A lot of those I've played with the colors and changed them. Introduced French notes. This I love this one. Look at this. Look at all the greens. It has Gust and it has Petit Treasure Braid. This is the Jewelry design. I don't think I'm gonna edit it, so please, I'm really apologizing in advance if it's difficult to focus. For all the glare, if you struggle with migraines in particular, I do apologize. This looks like honey, the hexagons. It's heavily blinked, very heavily blinked. And this is the Petit Treasure Braid 4th of July color. It has the black, the blue, the red and the white, but you can say it's also Union Jack, the way it came out. Look at that. Oh, it's not gonna focus, it's just too sparkly. But looks like Union Jack, or you can argue it's a Russian flag. It's a quite large piece, so if I move out again, no, it doesn't focus. And that's another piece I have shown you before, and that's Dimensions. That's the Morning Lake. And you can see much more detail. But this phone, wow, it really gives me much better resolution. That's the house, which reminds me of the Finnish sauna. I love how the water comes out. It's all done half stitch, and I've even included on the bottom 2016. It's the first time I've done it. It's the boat. Done a bit of coaching, not really good, but hey, tried. And this is the sky. The sky completely sold me on this piece. Saw it and I thought, yes, I want this, I need this in my life. So yeah, that's all the stitched projects I have in my house. All the FFO, not all stitched, all the FFOs I have in my house. And just move out. This is my craft room. Love IKEA, IKEA frames, IKEA sofa, IKEA table with one of my sewing machines, and IKEA building unit. Everything in this room, I have to say, is pretty much IKEA. And I have more yarn up there. I have my linen in that box, knitting thread, and those are leftovers of already stitched projects. See you later, guys.